Now at Nightside, new details on Friday's police chase that ended with one woman dead.
Well, it is dry tonight, but I am tracking more wet weather on the way. I'll show you when to expect our next round of showers in the first alert forecast.
In 6 months, after hundreds of homes and many businesses burned to the ground, residents of Elk and Medical Lake are still struggling. The new federal aid that just became available and what it means for fire survivors. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us. I'm Derek Dice. We have new information about 3 of the 4 teenagers accused in Friday's deadly robbery and chase. 18-year-olds Christopher Gamaka, Caden Willoughby, and Devin McEwen were arrested for conspiracy to commit robbery, attempted robbery, and assault in the first degree. The 3 teens all made their first appearances in court today. According to court documents, McEwen told police the group tried to rob someone they were meeting to sell tools to. But little did they know they were meeting the person they stole the tools from in the first place. An argument erupted between the 2 parties, triggering that chase. Court documents reveal that Willoughby and the woman in the car both fired shots out of the car windows. Willoughby indicated to police that the woman shot herself in the head to avoid going to jail. She was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The court commissioner acknowledged McEwen as the driver of the car, and the state quoted a judge talking about the danger he potentially poses if he's released.
Defendant presents as ringleader of alleged group of serial property thieves. He allegedly set up an armed robbery by offering stolen tools for sale on Facebook with a plan to rob the buyer at gunpoint, while multiple members of the conspiracy had firearms. He then fled in a Dodge Dart. He was driving at high speed, while others in the car shot at the victims who followed him.
The 3 18-year-olds are set for arraignment on March 5th. A 4th person who is just 16 was also arrested and is being handled by the juvenile court system. We'll continue to update you with any new information as soon as it becomes available. The police chief who led the investigation into the murder of 4 University of Idaho students and ultimately arrested Brian Kohberger is retiring. Chief James Fry has announced he's leaving the Moscow Police Department in May. In a statement, he said, "It has been my honor to serve and protect the citizens of Moscow and to contribute to the law enforcement profession throughout my career." Fry is a graduate of the University of Idaho. He's been with Moscow Police for almost 29 years. Well, hundreds of people affected by the Gray and Oregon Road wildfires now have access to federal funding, with President Joe Biden approving a disaster declaration for Washington. The Medical Lake and Elk communities are still trying to clear the rubble and debris left behind 6 months after the Spokane County's most destructive fires, burning over 360 homes. Many people in the affected communities telling us they're happy they're finally being heard.
We're not a big community, but the fact that we're being seen, we're being heard, and our concerns are being addressed, I think that's what, in essence, at the core of humanity, that's literally what we're looking for, is for someone to hear us, to understand our concern, and to take some action.
The funds will aid grants for those in need of temporary housing. It also includes low-cost loans for those who need extra help rebuilding outside of what insurance provides, or if you're not insured at all, it'll also provide money for programs dedicated to helping people and businesses rebuild. Well, one more day of rain, and then we should be drying out for at least a bit. Here's Chris Crocker now with that first alert forecast.
Well, and tomorrow's showers will be on an off and on basis, mostly off. That's certainly what we're seeing right now on our Doppler radar. Just one little shower working its way around the La Crosse area to the north and east across Whitman County. Otherwise, we are dry. We do have the chance of wet weather redeveloping overnight. Here's a look at our rain. Will be dry through about 3 a.m. and then only a 30% chance of showers, but we have a chance of showers through the entire day on Wednesday and right on into the evening, but they are going to be popping up on that hit or miss basis. I use that term a lot in the spring, but it certainly fits. It'll be sunny 1 minute, showers the next, but most of the day will be dry. 34 degrees at 7 o'clock. We're heading up to a high of 45, which is running a little bit above average. Wouldn't count on any sunshine, but we could always see some peaks of sun between the overcast. I will be back to tell you about a few dry days in the forecast, and when the wet weather returns, it may not be rain. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thanks. New on Nightside, the Spokane Bicycle Advisory Board met tonight to talk about some of the issues facing cyclists in the city. One issue they discussed was bike theft, especially in the downtown area. Bike theft has gone up steadily since 2021, jumping over 23% in 2022 and over 16% in 2023. The board discussed installing bike lockers in certain parts of town as a potential solution to curb that theft. The Spokane Public School District is meeting tomorrow to discuss its plans for the future following the failure of its bond in the February special election. It was meant to fund the replacement of 2 elementary schools and other upgrades throughout the district. The next step is considering putting the bond on either November's general election ballot or waiting until February of 2027. The school board work session starts at 4:30 tomorrow. We'll bring you any updates on 4 News Now. Rising costs are squeezing renters' budgets. To keep rent prices from rising excessively every year, Washington lawmakers are proposing House Bill 2114. If it passes, it would limit how much landlords can raise tenants' rent in both manufactured and residential homes. Michelle Thomas, the policy director of Washington's Low-Income Housing Alliance, says rent is going up much faster than Social Security and wages. Thomas says capping rent hikes to 7% every 12 months will help stabilize the rent prices.
And just stabilize people in their homes. And that's all this bill is asking for. It's not rent control. It's not controlling rents on the open market. When a landlord is in between tenancies, they can reset their rent at whatever level they want.
And the bill would also restrict late fees to 1.5% of the monthly rent. But local property manager Kathleen Nichols says that's not enough.
If you pay your car payment late, it's more than 1.5%. If you pay your house payment late, it's more than 1.5%. We have a fixed amount of $75 late fee because that's what Spokane County has required us to do. And 90% of the time, the tenants don't pay their late fee when they're late anyway.
Now, Thomas says providing a notice of a rent increase at least 6 months in advance will help tenants find more affordable places to live. But Nichols says it will be challenging for landlords to predict 6 months ahead. The Senate will hear what the public thinks about the bill on Thursday, and the Senate will vote on it next week. If it passes, it would take effect immediately. Well, the College Football Playoff Committee approved a new playoff model for next season. A 12-team field will be a 5-7 format comprised of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions and 7 at-large bids. The move comes after a month of long delay in which the Pac-12 initially resisted this change. Sports Director Julian Minnesone joins us. And Julian, what made the Pac-12 decide to change its mind on this?
Well, WSU President Kirk Schultz, who represents the Pac-12 on that board, initially delayed the vote, hoping the committee would consider the Pac-12 as a power conference. But that wasn't going to happen. The move to decrease the number of spots reserved for conference champions changed from 6 to 5 after conference realignment pretty much dissolved the Pac-12, leaving Washington State and Oregon State as its only members. Neither WSU or OSU can qualify for an automatic bid as a conference champion for the next 2 seasons, so Schultz gave the necessary vote to approve this new format. With WSU competing as an independent school, the only way to make the playoff is to earn one of those at-large selections. The extra at-large bid in the 5-7 format gives WSU the best chance to make the postseason while continuing to rebuild the Pac-12. And coming up in sports, what the playoff bracket would look like if it was implemented this new format this past season. Derek?
All right, Julian, thank you. After the break here on Nightside, a new milestone in the North Spokane Corridor Highway 395 project. And a new Trader Joe's finally coming to Coeur d'Alene, but it's not the only new development coming to the area. The changes you can look forward to.
Amazing pick of the night tonight from our friend Jeff O'Shea on Liberty Lake. This was the scene this evening. He says the lake has been frozen solid since the second week in January and just now is starting to fracture, and that is the fog that was on the lake all day just starting to lift at sunset. What an amazing photo there, Jeff. Thank you for that. We're going to do some more melting in the 7-day forecast, above average temperatures, and then a big dip in the 7-day outlook. I'll tell you about it after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+. 4 News Now is brought to you by Andy's Heating, Cooling, Electrical.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why people here drive Honda. Dependable all-wheel drive with traction control, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to fill up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda is known for legendary fuel efficiency? Great deals are here now, and so is Mr. Frost. So see your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Plus, 97% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Drive with 1.9% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at AutoNation Subaru.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Kimmel's got late night.
Man, I love coming here.
On lock.
Get up, come on, let's dance.
Watch me for an hour and the other 23 are yours.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Uh-oh. The Schwab fixes brakes, steering, and more.
Stop in for our Founders Celebration Sale and save up to $150 on select sets of 4 tires.
Def Leppard in concert. The first time in Spokane in 7 years. Friday, September 6th, Spokane Arena. Get set to get rocked. Def Leppard. One night only. Tickets on sale Friday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. at ticketswest.com. Don't miss Def Leppard. Produced by Live Nation.
4 News Now is brought to you by Becker Buick.
Welcome back. We told you last week about a new Trader Joe's finally coming to Coeur d'Alene. But it turns out it's not the only new development coming to the area. In addition to the popular specialty grocery store, the Coeur d'Alene Resort is also looking to expand. And the City Council is looking at a proposal to build a Marriott downtown as well. All of these new developments are exciting to local businesses who say they hope to see more foot traffic.
I look forward to it because I know it's going to bring a lot of people, tourists, and a lot more business for our company. And so I'm really excited for that because in the wintertime it's almost like a ghost town down here and we really need it.
We don't have a set timeline for the new Trader Joe's yet, but we'll be sure to bring you the latest updates as we get them. This morning, the Washington Department of Transportation reached a new milestone on the North Spokane Corridor Highway 395 development.
They set the first girders last night between our Phase 1 project, which is just south at Spokane Community College, and the Spokane River Crossing project. So big milestone, those first girders kind of signaling the drivable bridge deck that travelers will use in the not too distant future.
Now, the girders laid this morning are also made here in the Inland Northwest at a facility near State Line. DOT says the corridor is still on its scheduled timeline with an expected opening near 2030. You probably won't find this too surprising. Washington has the worst pothole problems in the whole country. That's according to a new report from USA Today. Not only that, Spokane comes in at number 6 for cities in the U.S. with the worst pothole problems. Also, not a surprise. The study was based on Google search trends for keywords like pothole and pothole repairs over the last 3 years. Now, so far this year, the city of Spokane says it's filled 926 potholes as of last Thursday. If there's a pothole in your neighborhood you'd like to see fixed, you can report it to the city's pothole hotline by calling 311 or submitting it online. You know, a lot of people ask, why do we have the pothole problem here in Spokane? And it's really nice when you can illustrate it, and you did a really good job of this at 6, so we're doing it again now.
Yes, it is the process of potholes, and we are right in pothole season. Let's take a look. And it all starts with wet weather on the roads. We get road weaknesses by the traffic that flows over the roads over time. We get cracks in the surface. The rain and the melting snow then seeps below those cracks and pools under the surface of the road. Well, then it freezes, and as water freezes, it expands, of course, and that creates a weakness in the roadway where it is now sticking up a little bit, forced upward. Then we see that melts, that water melts, seeps in down into the ground, and it has left this gap under the road surface. Well, then cars begin rolling over that part of the road, and that constant traffic breaks down the road surface, damaging it, and it creates a pothole. And we are so very much in that freeze-thaw cycle this time of year, and that is why we end up with those potholes. And we'll be down, road temperatures will be down around freezing tonight, 33 degrees for an overnight low in Spokane. Clouds, patchy fog, light winds. We do have the possibility of some isolated showers, but mostly those will hold off until tomorrow early morning. Temperatures around the region overnight will be down in the 30s. Tomorrow, a high of 45. That is a little above average with that chance of rain. Southeast winds at 5 to 10. We'll be in the 40s in most locations, 50 in Moses Lake and 55 in Lewiston. Here's our forecast radar starting off at the current time. Just these hit and miss showers. Here's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning around the Spokane area and points to the north and west. More showers through the noon hour. We'll get some good long breaks, but then they continue to polka dot our forecast radar, these showers through the evening. Here's 8 o'clock Wednesday. And then finally we begin to dry out for Thursday. Here's Thursday at 8 a.m. with mainly some mountain showers, and we'll be dry the rest of the day for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But then the wet weather returns on Sunday in the form of rain because we're going to keep our temperatures above average. But then we take a drop for Monday and Tuesday. So those additional days where we're seeing precipitation might be another story. Our precipitation outlook in the 8 to 14 day is calling for above average precipitation and below average temperatures. So we may see some more snow in the valleys starting on Monday and Tuesday. Windy conditions as well. This definitely adds up to more snow in the mountains, which we certainly need, whether or not you want it down in town. And there'll be more potholes blooming as we get up into the 40s and then down into the 30s. Little rain, little snow.
I think we can handle a little more snow.
Okay, good.
Shouldn't be terrible. All right, new on Nightside now. It's not just vulnerable populations. Anyone can fall prey to a scam, even a financial advice columnist. ABC's Ava Pilgrim shares a story of a woman who was tricked into handing over $50,000 in a shoebox.
It sounds even crazy to describe it.
This morning, a warning from a journalist who covers personal finance. She lost $50,000 in an elaborate scam that all started with a phone call.
It actually showed up as Amazon on my caller ID. She said that there had been some suspicious activity under my account.
Charlotte Coles, the Cut's financial advice columnist, thought she had just learned she was the victim of identity fraud. The person she was speaking to transferring her to someone claiming to be an FTC investigator, and later someone who said they were part of the CIA.
He knew my social security number, the last 4 digits. He knew my birthday. He knew my address. He knew that I lived with my husband and son, and he told me that my identity had been stolen by a criminal organization.
The person Coles thought was an investigator describing in detail 22 bank accounts, 9 vehicles, 4 properties, money wired overseas, drugs and cash, all linked to her name, telling her there was a warrant out for her arrest for cybercrimes, money laundering, and drug trafficking.
He told me that in order to avoid arrest, I would need to cooperate with their investigation. The thing that made me keep going was that they had so much information about my family, and they made it very clear that my family was potentially in great danger.
Their directions: don't tell anyone about the investigation. Take out $50,000 cash and deliver it to a vehicle that would pull up to her home. As soon as they had the cash, Cole says the phone call turned and she knew she'd been scammed.
Oh my God, what have I done? I can't believe this has happened.
Unreal. Wow. Well, Spokane County is the latest place in the U.S. to be hit with the measles. The other areas of the country that are being affected next on Nightside.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
They say post it or it didn't happen. But out here, in the places we were made for, you'll have to take our word for it. Find somewhere the internet's never been. With the family of Broncos designed to get you there.
Your choice. Get a 2023 Bronco Sport with 0 for 60 or lease for $299 a month only at your local Ford dealer.
That was fun.
Yeah, but I can't find my phone.
Maybe try retracing your steps.
You know what this is? Hello?
Find your phone yet?
I'm still thinking.
92.9 CCU. CCU.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important?
Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you?
This shortcut saves 2 hours easy, clean, dude!
No, of course not.
Not again.
Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
4 News Now is brought to you by Inland Imaging.
All right, thanks for staying up with us here on Nightside. Health officials have confirmed one person in Spokane County has been infected with the measles. They also say that person was exposed to it outside of the country, but that doesn't mean cases haven't been found here in the U.S. Doctors in Florida are closely watching a group of children infected with measles as experts warn about a surge nationwide. 9 cases have been reported in the Philadelphia area since December. Cases have also been reported in 13 different states, including Washington. Measles spreads in the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes.
All you have to be is in the same room or proximity with an infected patient to be at risk for contracting the virus.
The CDC requires the highly effective measles vaccine to attend public schools, but parents can seek religious or medical exemptions. Experts say when 95% of a community is vaccinated against measles, it cannot spread. But right now, 36 states fall below that threshold.
We have to have very high, 95% or greater immunity within a population in order for this virus that's like a heat-seeking missile to not be able to find someone who's susceptible.
The CDC says measles was eradicated in the U.S. at the start of the century. Severe cases can lead to brain swelling, pneumonia, or even death. Respiratory virus season isn't over yet. Providence tells us it's currently near last year's peak at their clinics. In honor of Heart Health Month, we're taking a look at how these respiratory illnesses affect your heart. For most people, RSV results in mild symptoms similar to a cold. But for others, the illness can heighten your chances of having a stroke or a heart attack. Factors like fever or dehydration can raise your heart rate, which can be very dangerous for people with heart disease or heart disease risk factors.
We know that we see heart attacks about 6 times more likely in patients after influenza. So for the week or 2 following, you're at 6 times the risk of a heart attack, even if you've never had one.
Dr. Mooney recommends aerobic exercise, eating fruits and vegetables, and maintaining a healthy weight in order to take care of your heart. For tips to avoid respiratory illnesses, you can visit our website, kxly.com. New here on Nightside, many social occasions are often accompanied with a drink, but too much alcohol can cause negative health effects, including cancer. Researchers from the World Health Organization found that not drinking reduced the risk of developing both oral and esophageal cancers. And the longer, the better. Not drinking for at least 20 years could reduce the risk of developing oral cancer by over 50%. Setting limits, counting your drinks, and reaching for a mocktail every once in a while could be good options. The Supreme Court in Alabama says a frozen embryo is a child. This now means under Alabama law, unborn children are children without exception based on developmental stage. This decision could put families' access to fertility treatments at risk. The ruling stemming from a case involving a patient who somehow accessed a freezer storing frozen embryos at an Atlanta fertility clinic. The patient picked up multiple embryos and mistakenly dropped and destroyed them. The state's high court says that patient can now be held liable in a wrongful death lawsuit.
We're concerned that this ruling has far-reaching consequences for what we feel is safe to freeze and safe to discard.
In 2021, more than 238,000 families in the U.S. relied on in vitro fertilization, or IVF, to have a baby. Multiple embryos are often frozen to increase the likelihood that one will successfully implant. Some doctors worry the ruling could make IVF less accessible by making it more expensive or causing some clinics to close because of legal risks. Well, WSU will take on number 4 Arizona on Thursday. How the Cougars plan to pull off the upset for the second time this season.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
PAR, family owned since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you going to build?
Everybody has a beginning story.
I couldn't do this without my sister. This is why we do this show.
You make dreams come true. Home is where the dream starts.
Anything is possible when you have the courage to chase your dreams.
American Idol is where the dream takes off.
It's going to make people stop and watch.
I did the biggest thing I thought I could do and auditioned for American Idol.
Let's go big.
Now's the perfect time for your new adventure. So, catch the wind. AutoNation Chevrolet is here to help get you out there. Drive a new 2024 Chevy Silverado with $9,000 off MSRP. Visit AutoNation Chevrolet today.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm here with Jeff, who works in one of Eyeglass World's in-store labs. Is that where you keep your time machines?
We don't have time machines.
But you can make customers' glasses the same day.
Yep, because we have in-store labs, not time machines.
Teleporters?
Nope.
Wormholes?
No.
Parallel timelines?
In.
Parallel universes?
Store.
Parallel parking?
Labs.
Magic wardrobes?
No, in-store labs.
Get 2 pairs of glasses for $89 the same day at Eyeglass World, the world's best way to buy glasses.
Record low snowpack and summer heat waves, but it's what's happening in the months between that could pose an even bigger threat. What's making our snowpack more vulnerable than ever? Watch Climate Crisis: Unpacking the Snowpack, Thursday at 6 on 4 News Now.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Now's the perfect time for your new adventure. So, catch the view. AutoNation Chevrolet is here to help get you out there. Drive new Chevy models with 1.9% financing and no payments until May. Visit AutoNation Chevrolet today.
To be able to kind of put ourselves in that rare air, that's awesome.
The Cougars are in the top 25, and head coach Kyle Smith is loving every second. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minnesone. Washington State basketball is ranked for the first time since 2008. And while WSU is loving the national attention, it comes with a little extra pressure. Outside of Thursday's matchup against Arizona, Washington State is expected to be favored in every game for the rest of the regular season. And of course, when everyone's hyping you up, it can be difficult to keep that chip on your shoulder. However, WSU guard Jalen Wells says he does not expect this team to lose its edge.
If you look at all of our players, we all have a kind of a story. Obviously, Miles Rice, Isaac came from JUCO, Oscar came from JUCO, I came from D2. So I think every time each one of us step on the floor, we have something to prove. So we always have that chip on our shoulder.
Washington State will go head-to-head against number 4 Arizona in a top 25 matchup on Thursday. WSU is right behind them for first place in the Pac-12. The winner of Thursday's game will be in the driver's seat to win the Pac-12 regular season title. The Cougs won at Arizona last year and are hoping to recapture some of that magic.
We have some guys on the team that won there, so there's no doubt you got some good juju, as we say. Down there, and that matters for sure.
And the Cougars also beat the Wildcats earlier this season in Pullman. They'll look to do it again. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock on Thursday in Tucson. And this is pretty cool for basketball fans. Washington State and Gonzaga, as of right now, are projected to be in the same city for the NCAA tournament, according to ESPN's latest update. Bracketology has the Cougars and Bulldogs both going to Memphis, with the Zags needing to win a play-in game to get there. Not only are they in the same city, but as of now, on the same side of the bracket. WSU is an 8 seed in the South region, while Gonzaga is the 11 seed in the South. These projections will most likely change, but of course we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the regular season. Now, there is a new format for next year's college football playoff. The 12-team field will be a 5-7 format. That means it's going to be comprised of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions and 7 at-large bids. Now, the move to decrease the number of spots reserved for the conference champions changed from 6 to 5 after conference realignment dissolved the Pac-12, leaving Washington State and Oregon State as its only members. Last month, WSU President Kirk Schultz delayed the vote to change the format, hoping the committee would consider the Pac-12 as a power conference. Neither WSU or OSU can qualify for an automatic bid as a conference champion for the next 2 seasons. So therefore, Schultz gave the vote necessary to approve this 5-7 format. Now, this is what the 12-team playoff would look like if it was implemented this past season. This bracket, made by Sporting News, as you can see, has the 5 automatic qualifiers and the 7 at-large bids. The 5 highest-ranked conference champions will make the playoff. Last season, that would have been Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama, and Florida State. The top 4 of those teams earning a bye to the quarterfinals. And it should be of note that this is something that's fluid. This is the format at least for next season and the season after that. But as we've seen with conference realignment and all the movement in college football, things could change. So if the Cougars are back at the big boys table, so to speak, they can maybe get a automatic qualifier bid for their conference potentially.
2 years for the Cougs and Beavs to really figure things out, right? Sure. All right, we're back to wrap things up right after this.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
What have you got against tomatoes?
I don't know how anybody can eat those things.
Visit AutoNation Acura Spokane Valley for attractive offers on a new vehicle.
Def Leppard in concert. The first time in Spokane in 7 years. Friday, September 6th, Spokane Arena. Get set to get rocked. Def Leppard. One night only. Tickets on sale Friday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. at ticketswest.com. Don't miss Def Leppard. Produced by Live Nation.
Dear winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota.
Toyota has 22 all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles, more than any other brand. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
And it is going to be a showery day tomorrow, but we'll also get some nice long breaks. Download that 4 News Now First Alert weather app to plan your jog or your dog walk.
Like I said, don't put away that rain jacket just yet.
No.
All right, thanks so much for being with us here on Nightside. You can wake up bright and early with Good Morning Northwest starting at 5 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m.